Hello guys and welcome back. In this video we will introduce Arraylist. The Arraylist is a way to store multiple values under the same name, and that provides lots of efficiencies in your programming. And to demonstrate how it works, I've thought I will show you what you are missing when you don't use an Arraylist or some type of data structure to store related values. And then I will contrast that with the same example using an Arraylist that you can see the difference. Before I start the lesson, if you didn't subscribe to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon for more updates. So let's say you are a teacher and you want to store grades so that we can compute the average on the test. To make it simple, I'm gonna make a track of 3 grades, but in real terms you'll probably talking more like 20 or 30 grades. But to save time, I'm only gonna store 3 that you get the idea. So if I want to keep track of grades, so first of all I need some variables. So I create the variables I want to compute the average, so I also need a total, so I'll put that in with my grades. Then I also need an average variable to store the average. The first thing I have to do is to assign some grades to my variables, so we will do that. Then I have to compute the average, so the first thing I have to do is to get the total. So I get the total, then I'm gonna compute the average to get the average. Now again, it doesn't look all that difficult when we are only talking with three grades, but multiply that by 10 to get more typical class size and you see a big problem. Now an easier way to do this is to use something called an array list. An array list is a container object that lets you store values, and you can store any kind of value in an array list. So let me demonstrate how to use the array list with this example. First thing we have to do is we have to import the class into our program. So it's Java util Arraylist. Let's comment out this other code. I want to keep it that I want to see it. Let's write our program. I still need an average variable and a total variable, so we'll create those. Now to declare my array list, I have to do something kind of strange. I have to tell what type of data is going to be in there. So to do that, I have to use the less than sign followed by the data type, which is integer, followed by the greater than sign, followed by the name of an array list, followed by constructor that is formed like so. So that looks a little daunting, but it is really not that difficult. All we are doing is we say we want an array list of type integer, and we are going to call that grades and place constructing new and inform me like so. Now I'm ready to put some data into the array list. We do that using a method called add. Understand that if this was a dataset, I have been using a loop and interactive input regardless of how much trouble the scanner object we cause. But because we are doing only 3, I will keep it simple and just doing it directly. So the add method puts data into the array list. Figure the array list like a divided box, and add puts a new item into a compartment in that box. So 78 goes into the first compartment, 84 goes to the second compartment, and 90 goes to the third compartment. Now I'm ready to compute the total. I can do that using the for loop, so I can write for int I is equal to 0. And I'll explain what that's going to mean in just seconds. I is less than grades.size. Array lists have a method that keeps track of how many items are entered, and it is called size. That I can call it whenever I want to know how many items are in my array list. And then I want to increment I by 1. And then what I want to do is I want to add each item from the array list into the total. So I use a method called get with I, the value of I. Each item in an array list has a position. The position starts at 0, so like the string positioning starts at 0, array list positioning starts at 0. So the first item in the array list is at position 0, so that's why my for loop starts at 0. As I move through, I want to go through position 0, 1 and 2. The size is 3, but the position numbers are 0, 1 and 2. So that's why I'm going I less than size. I want I go through 2 but not through 3. That will take me beyond the end of the array list, and I don't want to do that. So then we compute the average. I can use the size for that, and that is always a good idea. Always that the computer does some computing for you, so rather than trying to keep the track of how many grades I have, so that I can compute the average correctly by just put the grades in an array list, and an array list keep track of how many items they are. And then we can write out the average system out print line. The average is average. Right. Let's compile by first saving, and then Java C chap 11 part 1 dot Java. And once again I forgot to initialize the tutorial, so let's fix out that quick. Clear screen, compile again. That time is perfect. Java chap 11 part 1, and average is 84. That's the exact middle number, so that's correct. This chapter is going to introduce you to the array list and all the different methods and techniques we can use to use it. So in the next lesson we are going to talk about how to initialize array list. See you in the next lesson. Bye.